All right. So today we're going to talk about food funks, and we can carry this into exercise funk and life funk, because really I think a lot of the remedies are similar. And the reason I chose this because for tonight is because I feel like I'm in a food funk right now. It's like food's not very exciting, and I normally look forward to cooking and look forward to planning. That's just part of how I've always been. And like this week, I'm just kind of like, bleh. Like tonight, we're actually getting takeout because I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with it, and I'm not going to. So somebody figure it out. So,
After summer, you just want to play or something?
well, it's not technically summer for us yet because we're still, my
Right.
kids are still in school. And Lily and I are pretty sure that summer was canceled in the Pacific Northwest. So I think everybody else gets it this year, but maybe we're on a break. I don't know. It was
Okay.
funny. I just had shorts delivered today too. And I'm like, I don't even know why I bought these because I don't think the sun's coming out here. So I'm not sure.
You can take a trip.
Well, it's going to be 99 on Monday here. So
Oh
why
my
don't you just come
gosh.
and visit?
Oh, bring it, send it our way, please.
You
It's
really
gonna
want
be
it to be
66
99
here.
and feel like you're in an armpit? Okay.
Yes, I'd
Yeah,
like to go paddleboarding, please.
I'm sure.
I'd
I'm
like to
sure
ride.
you'll need them for Summit anyway, so you
Yeah.
can still bring
Right.
them.
That's
Yeah,
true. I'll wear them when I'm in Missouri. Yeah.
that's right.
There you go. Because
I'll
it
be
does.
like
It
a
feels like
puddle
you're
of
in an
sweat
armpit.
because I won't have acclimated to warm
Right.
weather at that point. So I won't know what to do.
Deb,
Yeah.
do you
So
just
humid.
get heat or do you get humidity too?
Mhm.
We generally dry out in the summer, but right now we are on a super rain phase. Like that's what we were joking about. We're getting an atmospheric river tonight in the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to get hit with a ton of rain and it's going to be fantastic.
Well,
I
now's a
signed up
perfect time
for
to come
outdoor
visit Ohio.
classes in a park Tuesday and Thursday morning from 8 to 9. So I went Tuesday. This
Yeah.
morning it was raining, so they canceled it.
Oh yeah. Well,
They-
hopefully
they-
it clears up for everybody.
They canceled it at 7. The rain stopped by 8, so we
Oh.
could have had the class, So
They're fair weather.
then the rest of the day was a funk because
Yeah. Yeah. So back to our funk. Thanks, Kathy. Nice segue.
yeah, right.
So back to our funk. So I really feel like in our life, we know there's going to be these ebbs and flows. Like we know there's going to be times where we're just kind of like, right? Yet when they happen, I think we trick ourselves a little bit and we're like, oh, this is it. This is how life is. When really the funks, they ebb and flow, they go away at some point. So I think that is my like biggest piece of advice in all of this. If you're in a current funk with your food or your fitness or your life, it's not going to last forever. Right. So it's like, let's, keep doing what you can do right now and keep doing what you know is good. And then when you're out of it, you're out of it. Right. And things will feel better. Things will be better. And you won't be looking back being like, I wish I'd have just kept eating the vegetables, or I wish I'd have, whatever it is that kind of goes a different way. So I had a couple ideas for things that I like to do when I'm in a food funk, and I'd love for everybody to share what they, what happens when they're in a food funk. My biggest thing is if I don't feel like cooking, that's when I get something fizzy. So since I'm on gut protocol, it's either a kombucha or it's some kind of seltzer. Maybe previously it was a cocktail, right? So I get something fizzy, I put on a good playlist, and I start cooking in the kitchen, right? Maybe I'll start cleaning up some things, getting things ready, and it turns more into kind of a me time party, just listening to what I want to listen to and do, and just kind of having that space to get things done. That usually helps me get through the mealtime part. If like lately I'm feeling a lot like the foods are kind of the same and I'm always making a bowl and it's like, can I zhuzh this up a little bit or make something different? So now I'm going to go through and look for new recipes because it's clearly time I need to introduce something else exciting in my life. Or maybe it's trying a new vegetable, trying a new recipe, trying a new spice, right? Something that makes it different, something that can be, looking forward to. And then I had one more. Let me look at my list that I did on a post today. Because I talked about it on there because I'm like, if I'm doing this, somebody else has got it going on. Let's see, what was my other? I had 4. Oh, so along with this, I mentioned earlier about staying consistent. I try to do that to the best of my ability, but also giving myself grace, right? Like I know we're getting takeout tonight and we're going to have some burgers and fries, and I'm going to have some burgers and fries. It's going to be lettuce wrapped. The fries will be fine. I have some containers left. It's going to be fine, right? But it's things like that where it's an occasional, right? But today I just finished a quinoa lettuce salad with the strawberry spinach or the strawberry vinaigrette, which is still delicious a week later. And, you know, I had my normal breakfast. So it's like keeping the same things consistent that you know work well for you. And then if you need a splurge here and there, oh, like last night, this was kind of funny. Like I was laughing at myself because I was kind of like, I need something, right? Like I want something that's kind of a treat. So Deanna 2.0, right? In the phase I'm in, whatever, we'll just call it 4.8 because I'm 48, right? I picked red lentil wraps with fruit and nut butter. And I'm like, the old Deanna would have gone with, I don't know, Oreos, ice cream. And I was totally happy with it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I'm a half a purple over and I'm having a kombucha. So I'm a half a yellow over and I'm totally fine with that. Right. But it was just something I kind of wanted. And I was like, this is nice. And I'm like, man, the old Deanna would have totally flown off, right? Gone and had something crazy sugary, something that, you know, probably didn't even taste as good as I thought this stuff tasted. And I was just laughing at myself because I'm like, this is progress, right? This is the point a lot of people are trying to get to, where it's not, you don't stop. You don't like throw in the towel. You just kind of go with what you need in the moment and you make it the best you can. And then you're back on. There isn't like this hop off the wagon, back on the wagon. You just kind of, you know, maybe dipping your toe down a little bit and you're like, I'm just going to have a little of this and it's fine. And then the last thing I think that I try to do when I'm in a funk is I try to walk outside, because that always helps me think in a better way, right? Like walking outside, fresh air, it's just, I don't know, something different happens. It's kind of like a hot shower too. Hot showers are also good, right? Like you think better, things like come to you, you have more appreciation for things. And then also just remembering to be grateful that I get to do this. I get to eat like this. These are my choices, and it's my choice to feel good and to be empowered with what I'm doing. So I'm going to be excited about that versus thinking I have to, I don't want to, this is punishment, right? Because I know how great I feel when I'm eating well. And I know my mind's better when I'm eating well, because in between the reset and this gut protocol plan, I remember I had some weeks where I was pretty like sugar heavy. And because I really didn't pay attention to a lot of sugar for the most part, like we do now, like if you did gut protocol, like you do in that. And I notice now, like just my overall mood doesn't dip as low and everything's more even keel. So I know if I continue to just keep eating the good foods, keep eating things that are nutritious, it'll pass through and move forward. So I'd love to hear from you guys on how you handle your funks, what you find works for you.
Well, I've had a funk today. I don't know. I kind of woke up in a funk. And then it rained and one of our rooms flooded in the house. So it just made me, feel shitty. I was yelling at my kids, snapping at them. I did eat some Oreos. I will admit to that. But I got over it. I went for a run. I was like, to my oldest, you're in charge. I need to go outside. It was raining still. So I was just like, I'm just going to do it. I just got to get outside. And it's supposed to be like a rest day for me, but I needed to get my
Yeah.
running shoes on and get some fresh air. So that's what I did. Went outside.
I think that's a great plan. I like it.
Yeah. You know, that rain, it seems to be, everyone's in a funk, and it started with rain this morning. Because I had
Right?
this
True.
day.
I think it's the rain that's causing this funk.
Doesn't it do something in the air pressure? Rain.
I don't know. Where's a full moon coming? I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know.
I went out for a walk today too, because I had to do something, you know, after the gym class was canceled. I was gonna do something at home, and I said, I just didn't want to. I said, so, but I needed to do something, so I went out to walk,
Yeah,
and that helps.
it does. I think it really helps a lot, just being out in the fresh air.
Yeah.
Getting away from the refrigerator. would
Yes.
be- yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and not, yeah, my thing is if I'm standing in front of the refrigerator and I don't want to eat vegetables, then I'm not hungry, I'm just grazing. So
Right.
I need to go do something to keep me busy, whether that's get outside and go for a walk or with Duke or, you know, go do a workout or whatever. I usually find that I need to just keep myself busy.
Yeah.
I think it helps to let other people know you're in a funk as well.
I
You know,
agree.
because you know, it's that whole accountability thing that we all know so well that we seek it, I think, and we want other people to seek it from us. So I know for me, when I get into a funk, I just tell people, you know, I mean, I don't like stand at the top of the mountains and scream it, but you know, I just reconnect and kind of say, oh my gosh, I'm in a funk, you guys, what am I going to do? You know, that type
Yeah.
of thing. So, and I think that really helps.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think like everybody at some point is in a funk, right? It's just part of, I think, how things go.
I generally just try to healthify whatever I'm like really wanting. Like if I can't get away from it, like I usually will go for water. Like I'll just get like a big glass of water and drink. But a lot of times mine would be related to emotions. Like today I had a very rough, challenging day. And it made me like want to go out to dinner with my husband and just be like, that's what I want to do. I deserve that after today. and instead I'm like, no, because then I'm going to feel like not good when I do that. I know I won't. I know it. I know that the reason why I was able to keep my cool so much and be able to be mentally and emotionally in the space that I was in was because of what I've been doing up until now, like in the last 5 weeks. And so I just, you know, rethought. But often in the past, what I would do is if there was something specific that I was craving, I would try to figure out a way to healthify it. Like how Deanna, you did your thing. And I would be like, you know what, if I have one more protein and a little bit more fat and or whatever, you know, like I would make stuff with Shakeology all the time. I would make puddings and you know, whatever, icing. I do whatever because I'm like, you know what, if I'm going over on something that is healthy, I'm not going to stress over that as much as if I was, you know, going to go and just full on have, you know, a blizzard or, you know, something like that. I mean, then it's like, okay, that's kind of going the other direction. So I usually tried to stick with something that I could healthify, especially if it was attached to emotional situations too.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like it left me in a better place
Mm-hmm.
than if I
Yeah, it doesn't
dove
increase
into-
the stress, right? It's
Right.
like, because I think sometimes when we go maybe over what we think we should do, then you're just adding more stress and more, you know, poor feelings about yourself.
Yeah. And then in the end, you're not necessarily, I know for me, I can tell the difference when I have certain things that I'm just not mentally and emotionally in the same capacity as I am when I don't have junk,
Mhm.
pretty much. So
Yeah, and I think it's important, like, to ask yourself, does this fix it or help the situation, right? Because there's a lot of times where it's just going to add to you, right? So then it's like you kind of have to ask yourself, all right, is this going to make me feel better? Is this going to make me feel fine, like not matter? Or is this going to like make me feel worse?
right.
I had a positive weekend for a change. We went up to Connecticut to my daughter's because it was her birthday. And she was having the big party.
I saw that party. It looked amazing.
We had a really good time. So I saw what was on her menu and I went through it and I picked out what I was going to eat. And that's what I did. I ate and I made it that like it wasn't about the food. It was about the friends, the partying. We talked to all people that we hadn't seen in a long time, all her different friends from all over. And like the games, dancing, whatever. I got a piñata for all these grown-ups. They had a great time. But I left not feeling bloated. She had an ice cream cake, which I wanted because I like ice cream cake and I haven't. And I just had like a little bit of the vanilla ice cream on top because I don't like the chocolate anyway. And I didn't need any more. And so when I came home, I only gained like 0.2 of a pound. So it's like, okay, this was a positive.
That is a positive. And just the fact that you thought about it in that way is a big deal,
Yeah.
right? That you thought about, I'm going to focus on seeing the people we don't normally get to see or we haven't seen in a long time versus whatever the food is.
Yeah.
And, because that's what the party's all about, right? Celebrating Danette and, her friends and everything that's going on.
Yeah. She had a great time.
That's awesome.
It was everything she wanted it to be. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Well, I don't know if anybody do we want to talk about, does anybody have anything they want to say about fitness funks? I usually just try to switch programs. Find something that feels like it's going to light my fire.
I go back to anything that is my like favorite workout. If I'm feeling in a funk and don't want to do something, then it's time to switch it up and go do something that makes me happy. So
yeah,
let's go up or 10 rounds or those are, yeah. That way I know, and I know always, I know that once I get something done, I'm going to feel so much better.
Yes.
But it's always better to do something that you enjoy than something that you don't enjoy. So if you're in that much of a funk, then I would suggest pick one of your favorite programs and go do that.
Yeah, I pretty rarely now just skip a workout altogether because I already, like it's so ingrained now that I know I'll benefit from it in some way, even if I half-ass the whole thing, right? But I will have moved, I will have gotten dressed, I will have kept my habit, I will have showed up in some way, to be there and do it. And even if it's like you're on a program and you just need to go dance, right? Or whatever, then pick the dance one that day and enjoy it and then get back to your other program the next day.
Lily, you always look happy when you're exercising. You make it look so easy. I'm looking at these moves and I'm going, I can't twist my body like that and hold it up. It's like, wow.
It is fun. It
the dog
does
sleeps.
make me happy.
And the dog sleeps unless you're doing core.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not motivating while he's snoring away in the corner.
Yeah, he's not motivating. He's not a help.
No.
Generally for me, well, nowadays being on Zoom with you guys is what helps me
Helps a
if I'm
ton.
ever in a funk and it's a habit and a routine for me to be on. So it really doesn't matter if I'm in a funk or not. I'm going to end up pressing play because everybody's going to go, okay, well, we're going to press play. So eventually it happens. So, but ever since, I can't even remember, but it's been so many years now that I've been doing this, but no matter what program I'm doing, I try my best to find at least one thing that I enjoy about it. And it can literally be one of the cast members, like the facial expressions they make or something, or like, you know, what like they say, or it can be the trainer. It can be that I like a particular move or I like to work a particular muscle group or something. And I try very hard to focus on that in each of the workouts and to ignore all the things that I don't like as much as possible.
Right.
So, you know, that's kind of what I do with everything, because I know for me, like the most challenging program for me that I have ever pushed my way through, which I've done just about everything. I didn't do 80-day obsession and I didn't do hammer and chisel. I was sick during those time frames, but I started with Insanity, the original Insanity, and Morning Meltdown 100 was more challenging for me to make it through those 100 days than it was for me to make it through Insanity, because I so got to the point where I was just like, gosh, every 20 days, that was the only thing that kept me going, was because it kept shifting. And I had to keep finding, okay, there's something new I can find that I like each of these days. I can do this. But that literally was the most challenging program.
Every 8 days you had to look forward to the Fight Club. That was me.
I looked forward to Fight Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope. 100%.
Yeah. It was like oh gosh, yes, that was one of the ones that kept me going. And I did like her mobility work too. But oh my gosh, those jumps.
All the jumps.
I literally think I started to jump like shorter by the end of the program. I mean, I was able to jump higher in the beginning of the program than by the end. It was like I could barely even get off the ground. I was like, this is not working.
Well, good thing that Fire and Flow has none of those jumps.
Oh, I know.
You haven't done week 3 yet, have you?
I did. I'm on week 3. I have cardio. I have cardio tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Brings.
Wait until tomorrow.
Okay.
You have all the jumps tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. That's
Now you just talked Bev out of it.
I know. But they're, you know what though? They're fun because you haven't done them in a while. So it'll be exciting.
Once.
Yeah, you only have to do them for 30 minutes.
You only have to do them once.
I will focus on anything else other than those jumps in that workout. I'm sure there's going to be something. You can challenge me. I will find things even when I hate it.
The music is good.
What?
Yeah.
The music is good in the program.
Yes. So there's a couple times where I like the one day I think that she had like either Garbage or Letters to Cleo. Like it sounded like Garbage or Letters to Cleo. And I'm like, that really sounds like them. And I mean, neither bands are really doing anything mainstream that I've ever heard of. So for them to do something like that, I could see.
I wonder if there's like
really
a listing of the songs somewhere, like some kind of credit somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, because I definitely like Jericho's music a lot. I really do. That's probably my favorite thing.
She picks good stuff.
Yeah, but I do not, any workout that starts with jumping jacks, I could just smack somebody.
That's how I felt in lift 4 late, because I restarted that one and I'm like, jumping jacks while I'm running, that's not fun. I'm like, no thanks. I'd
rather run and
another warm up over here for
just jumping jacks.
I'm just like, no, let's do something else.
Yeah, literally about 3 seconds into jumping jacks, it's like, okay, time to go to the bathroom.
I know that's how I feel every time, but you know, it is what it is. So
You can't.
yeah. And my left ankle's tweaked too. I don't know what I did to it. So it's been like that for like a week and a half. It usually fixes fixes itself. I've sprained it a bazillion times. My right one I had surgery on, my left one I've sprained multiple times. And it has a very loose joint, but it keeps like tweaking. And of course we keep jumping, and it's like, can we just stop jumping? Stop.
Well, you can do the low impact. Julie Voorhees is doing low impact on all of it.
Yeah, I think I mean, if she's doing a bunch of jumps in week 3, if I am still dealing with this ankle thing, oh no, it's not happening. I'll be modifying.
No sense hurting
Just
yourself.
modify.
Can't do
Yeah, just
anything.
modify.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh my
modified some of it.
You know that the modifier, did you see the reel that they did with the drop in low? That they all did the drop low thing? And then the modifier, she's a freaking break dancer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she was flying around there. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I'm so happy
Wow.
she's able to modify.
Hmm.
Like, you just put your legs up in the air, like at the same time, did you? Like, what happened? Like, anyway. Like, wow.
Oh. Timber just
So
got her-
I find myself in a fitness funk in between programs. And recently, since I started doing the badges, it's been actually kind of fun. If we're in between a program, I can pick one of those shorter, like the 1 week things, and go for my badge, so that's added a little challenge to my fitness funk, or lack of, I guess. So that's been helpful.
Yeah, I would agree. And before body was out too, I had the same feelings in between programs. Like I just kind of be like, oh, well, and because like I'd have to pick something, and I know myself I'm gonna pick something easy. So then I'm like, well, this is boring. And then, but with body, when we started doing the 60 days body, and I feel like I could turn one of those on and feel pretty good about it in between programs. But it took a while too to get there, because then I'd be like, well, what do I pick? What is this like? But after you kind of get to know the system.
What's a badge? What are you talking about?
So in our Beachbody On Demand system now, it's called gamification, where when you complete a program, you get a little badge. Let me see if I can find one here.
Okay.
And
Get a little
so
badge
as you
like
complete,
that.
that says that you completed the program.
Or like this
Oh,
one
yeah.
that says I've got 100 Shakeologies.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a tracking thing, and it's a lot of apps do it. Like I have a beer app where if you log a certain amount of beers, and you open a badge. If you've done a certain amount of sours, you open a badge. So it's just
like
a
an
thing.
award.
It's just kind of makes it more like a game, which is what a lot of people respond to now.
yeah. It's like being a kid, you get your reward.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
that's what it is.
Totally a gratification thing, right? You get some instant gratification from completing something.
Well, and the nice thing is, so like this is my Fire and Flow. It also tells you where you are. So it says play the next workout. So you don't even have to keep track of where you are, because it just automatically knows where you are in the program and plays the next workout.
Really?
So I like that as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then you can, rack up your badges. Maybe we'll have some way of, I suppose you can share them too, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like a social media share thing. So if you want to share it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will just caveat, I restarted 4 weeks for everybody, and my badge went away
It did?
until I finished it again. So just FYI, if you restart something, you might lose your badge till you
That's-
finish it again.
That's not fair.
That's not
If you did it,
fair.
you get another.
I think it's a glitch they're going to have to work through.
Yeah.
Did they ever fix the a little more obsessed? Because that's only a week-long program.
Oh,
and
I don't know.
think
And it says it's 28 day or 28
Yeah.
weeks, right? Yeah. No, I don't know
It's-
if they've done that one or not. If
I
they
don't think
fixed
so.
it.
I think it still says 28 days or something.
Yeah, they're making it like a 4-week program or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the badges have been fun. It at least gives us something to strive for if we don't have
Yes,
anything else going on for a week.
Share in the groups, and
Yeah.
it's good.
Nope, still 28 workouts.
Yeah.
Is that?
Well, you're gonna have to
I'm
work
the-
for that one.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because 362. So it says, it's said that I've done all the day 2 workouts though.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
the blue line is all the
So
way
maybe
across.
when you do them all, it will cross them off for each week. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Because it says
Oh.
day 2 and day 6, I've done all those.
Huh.
If I look through the list, it shows that I've done them all.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
All right. So do we have any more comments on the funk? Let's get out of it. Oh, that's just me. Me and Rochelle, we're getting out of it. Tomorrow, gone.
We gotta snap out of it, right? I wish it worked like that.
Yep, just boom, snap out of it. We're gonna put some good music on tomorrow morning, sweat it out,
Yes.
be all done.
I can tell, I agree with Beverly though, that you get on Zoom, even if you're not feeling it, and by the end of chatting it up or seeing everybody else work out or whatever, you get it done, you feel so much better.
It does help a lot for sure.
Yeah.
But a little extra accountability. So where's everybody at with their nutrition? I'd love to hear, like, I know some of us are still gut protocol, some are back on kind of winging it, some are on maybe a plan. How's everybody doing? Don't talk
Do
about it.
M&Ms count in a yellow container, or do I get to use all the containers?
Yeah,
This is back to winging it.
whatever
I know.
color
You gotta
ate,
put the
What-
colors in each
Yeah,
container. That's
exactly,
how-
whatever
Exactly.
color you ate, that's what color it is.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I am gonna kind of revisit gut protocol. I mean, I really haven't added any of the stuff we took out, so I'm sort of still eating that way. But
Uh-huh.
I'm following. I guess I'm still kind of following those containers too. So there you have it. Yeah. So I guess I'm still doing gut protocol.
Yeah, I am. I've added in my recover, so that gives me a little bit more sugar. But other than that, I'm still on it.
Now I have gone overboard with the sugar, but I'll rein that back in.
I have like not wanted to, just because I think I'm pretty sure I'll get a headache pretty quickly. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't think I want that right away.
And you feel like crap.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you, I've felt like crap for the past couple weeks because of
Yeah.
too much candy. Mhm.
Jump back in round 3.
Yeah.
Start officially on Monday. We're in prep week this week. Join us for the next 4 weeks.
Okay. I sure will.
I guess for me, I'm back to portion fix, but I've kept a lot of the principles from the gut protocol. Like I went to Starbucks and met a friend for coffee today, and I had tea instead.
Nice.
And I'm not drinking Starbucks on a regular basis at all, or coffee for that matter. Whereas before I would have it every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. So
Yeah.
that's a big change. And I'm still trying to keep my added sugars down around 15 or lower when I can, which is doable unless I have all my supplements, which includes hydrate, then I'm over. So but I figured that's better than like eating a candy bar or Sue.
Right.
But yeah, I've tried to keep stay away from red meat more than once a week. I tried to incorporate that as well. Just because I can, and I know that I felt so much better when I was following that. Just those few simple rules. I'm not following all of them, but I'm kind of incorporating those into and still eating the sauerkraut, which just my husband is not a fan of.
Oh, really?
Oh, he hates anything with vinegar, the smell, anything. Like he can't deal with it at all. So yeah, so it was a no-go for him, but I've still kept it in my diet stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm still following gut protocol, but I'm still using a lot of their their philosophies, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And Rochelle, are you staying on gut protocol? 'Cause you just finished your first.
Yeah, I am. I've had some like chocolate cravings, so I try to buy like
Ooh,
dairy-free,
Yeah.
dairy-free chocolate chips. And I think what kind of like put me in a downward spiral was, enjoying birthday cake for my daughter's birthday. And I just had this like little tick in my head, like, oh, well, I screwed up,
Yeah.
how am I going to recover? But it's possible, I just have to drink more water and just stay on a routine. I mean, with summer and the kids home, my routine is totally different. I'm used to
Right.
the alarm clocks. I'm used to getting up and doing my workout after I drop them off. So I have them home, I'm cooking breakfast. There's a lot of hustle and bustle and trying to entertain them, trying to, work, have my 30 minutes to myself, 30 or 40, however long it takes. So just kind of dialing it back and just realizing I have 24 hours to get my workout done. I can prepare ahead of time my meals on the weekends when I have extra time. And that, it's simple. All I have to do is just make sure I'm recording what I'm eating and make sure all those foods are bought ahead of time so that I can stay on track and continue to stay on track and try to hide the Oreos.
Right.
I had my
Or
kids hide
have an
them.
alternative for you.
Yeah.
Something that's yours. I did find, so I was at Whole Foods yesterday and they have these, there's a whole brand called Unreal.
Mhm.
And they're
I've
like
seen that pop up all
really
over
bold
Instagram and
packaging.
everything.
Yeah. And so they're these little coconut bars covered in dark chocolate and they're dairy free. And they had 3 grams of sugar per bar. I think it was 3 or 4. So super low. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what? I'm just going to have this around because previous to this was a person that had a chocolate bar in my cabinet at all times. Right. And I would just have a square here and there. If I knew it was there, I could
Mhm.
have it, no big deal. And I haven't had that. And lately I've been going around and looking and reading the labels and all my chocolate has dairy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I saw this and I thought, I'll just stick that in the cabinet. And then if there's a day I want it, I'll have it.
Mhm.
But I had long time ago, I had the peanut butter cups from them and they're really good. So I
I'll have
expect
to look at that. I've seen that they have like the mini tacos or little meals or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've made the bean brownies. Was it chickpea brownies?
Yeah.
I've made the chickpea brownie dip. My kids even like that, surprisingly. So just trying to find alternatives to get that, chocolate fix
Right.
when I need it or when I feel like I want it.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Recover and the coconut yogurt or chocolate Shakeology and the coconut yogurt?
I haven't tried the coconut yogurt yet because I bought one and when I went to open it, it had like mold on it. I don't know. It was not expired or anything like that. I think it was just the grocery store. They, didn't store it well. And I was like, okay, I'm not buying this again for a while. I have to find another store to buy it from, but that sounds like something that would be good.
It's a good treat. I've realized that I don't need a chocolate bar if I have that, which is so much better for me. And I'll even do like coconut milk, unsweetened coconut milk and chocolate Recover or unsweetened coconut milk and cafe latte Shakeology or chocolate Shakeology, cookies and creamy, all those mix up really well. And you can mix it into like a pudding, like you're eating it.
Yeah. Well, that fruit dip recipe we did this week, that was a great consistency.
Oh
And
yeah.
I did mine with the coconut yogurt and macadamia milk. And
and that was a lot. Like
it was very filling.
Yeah, it was so filling. Like I almost couldn't finish mine, and that would totally hit the spot if I was looking for something sweet. Like it felt like a treat, like you're eating a treat. So I have learned that I don't need the piece of chocolate or the candy bar or whatever, that I am totally satisfied if I take the time to make the chocolate pudding or
Mhm.
dip that we made at meal prep or any of that stuff. So you might try that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
See if it satisfies you or not.
Mm.
And you can always put, sometimes I'll put toasted coconut on the top of it,
Mhm.
or I have cacao chips that have no added sugar. So I'll add those onto it sometimes. And a little bit here and there is not gonna, not
Right.
gonna hurt you. So
My go-to is always just chocolate Shakeology with just a little bit of water or a little bit of cashew milk or something, just to make it be like a pudding or an icing even,
Mhm.
just enough that you can eat it. And then I started putting it onto those thin stackers. And if I still have teaspoons left, having like a teaspoon of peanut butter or sun butter mixed into it, it's so good. So good. It's like, and then as Lily said, the coconut, I've done coconut and nuts in it too. And it's just so good.
just
It's
adds
like-
it adds a little,
like
and you don't
dessert.
even have to add that many, or that much coconut, just a little tiny bit of, sprinkled toasted coconut goes a
Mhm.
long way. So you don't have to use the whole orange or.
I'm trying to remember because we made like a brownie batter dip.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was garbanzo beans.
Yeah, that's what I have in my fridge now.
That's what, okay, so you made the one from Bod?
Yeah,
Yeah, because that was like super rich.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't eat the portion of it. I think it's like a quarter cup. I can't eat the whole thing.
Yeah. That sounds like a good one then, right? Because then
Too
you,
thick. It's too
you
thick.
just a couple hits and then you're good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch or see the video that Bobby Calabrese did today?
No, is it when he answers questions online?
I think so. I'm not sure. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
I was going to watch it.
There-
Did
I
you
think-
see it?
He
I
does it
think
once a
today was
week.
that one.
Yeah, and they're pretty interesting, some of the stuff that people ask and his answers.
Gotcha.
And I wonder, yeah, it was funny because I've seen a couple people mention that they'd really like the videos to be brought back. So I don't know.
It was interesting. So one of my customers was asking, like, how do I cook this or whatever? And I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go find a video for you. And I sent her the video and I was like, this is one way to cook it. You can try this. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that these existed at all. And there's a whole recipe, tons of videos that you can go and watch in there if you need ideas or don't know how to cook something or.
Yeah. And they even have a video for like knife skills and some other videos kind of like that. So it's kind of a nice to go in there and check it out. But all right. And Bev, what's your plan right now? Are you staying on gut protocol? Are you resuming portion fix? What you're tracking?
Well, I'm in week 5, and so reintroducing.
Yep.
And the only thing that I've reintroduced, I had cheese 2 days ago, and I really didn't have any difference. So, but as I've said, I mean, cheese is different than other forms of dairy. So, I definitely will have to try it again in order to really know, like, did it cause anything? I'm anxious to be able to put in corn.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
Because
this weekend, I think, because that's the only one I haven't introduced.
I love tortilla chips,
Mhm.
and I love Mexican food. So I can skip the dairy, but it sounds like I don't necessarily need to, possibly. But yeah, so I don't know, like, I'm kind of waiting. And the other thing I can do is try, I have regular chocolate Shakeology too. So I can try that, but that's also a very clean source of
Right.
dairy. So that's not even the same as cheese. Like, I mean, it's not like I had organic cheese even. It was just run of the mill mozzarella. So, with no side effects at all. So, I don't know. I don't know what exactly, I mean, we're still eating the same way basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm feeling great. What we have noticed, Scott has noticed, is that he is having more dreams. He's not talking as much. He also isn't snoring as much. Like he would snore. I mean, sometimes it would be hard for me to even go to sleep at night because he snores so much.
Right.
And I have a sleep tracker and it does track him snoring periodically, but most nights it's way less than what it was. And then let's see, Jacob's skin is like super clear. I think he has like 2 pimples right now. Which for a 16-year-old, that's like crazy that you only have 2 pimples. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're really liking it. He wants to add back in certain things, like he wants to be able to have his cheese back. But at the same time, if he adds it and then he gets more acne again, I don't know if he will actually want to keep it.
Right.
In all reality. So I'm he wasn't as regimented as what Scott and I were with taking the enzymes. He was good, but he had definitely missed more times. So plus, you know, that whole issue with the lactose in the homeopathic stuff. But so I was kind of giving him a little bit longer before adding something back in. But I think that's the first thing that he wants to do is add in the plant-based cheese, which I know that's not necessarily the way that it's supposed to be, and I just don't care.
Right.
I'm not on video.
He's never gonna eat regular cheese, so
Yeah.
but he loves the beans. He loves the beans and he loves the kimchi. He is like hooked on kimchi. And yeah, so the other thing that he wants is his brown rice tortillas back, but that'll have to be like another, you know, okay, see what dairy does, and then we'll see what the brown rice tortillas do. Both highly processed.
So just processed? There's nothing else that you're taking out for the brown rice tortillas?
No, because I mean, the brown rice tortillas, they're from Food for Life. I mean, they're a really good brand, but in order to make them be what they are, they have to put in extra like gums and stuff. So they're definitely more processed. And technically gums are disrupting to the gut. So but then again, if we continue with the digestive enzymes, that might actually assist in it. Yeah, assist in breaking down the food and maybe not causing issues.
Yeah. I think the interesting part is you have to decide, because I mean, Portion Fix and Gut Protocol are similar in a lot of ways, but the big kicker is if you're enjoying having your quinoa as a red, if you're enjoying your beans as a red, and you don't feel too limited in your food, the scope of your food, because that's kind of what it comes down to for carrying on. Because you can make Portion Fix cleaner, right? You can pick the top third of the list and pick the things that are more nutritious, but you're just counting them in different ways. So I personally, I think I'll remain a Gut Protocol person just because I really like my beans and my quinoas being reds.
Yeah, I like the lentils. The lentils I like to be able to not have to eat meat at lunch.
Yes.
I really do.
I love having a meat-free meal, and just it's so easy to prep, and it's like as fast as having a Shakeology, right? You know what I mean? It's just like most of the time all that stuff's just ready and you just kind of throw it together.
Right. Yeah, I really do. I mean, like I keep thinking like I kind of miss salads, but I don't miss like all of the prep.
Yeah.
The washing and the spinning of all the different greens, and then the washing and the cutting up of all the different vegetables. And I don't know, not that I am not cutting up and washing vegetables for the stuff that I'm cooking, but actually a lot of the stuff we buy, like we have green beans that are already frozen and broccoli, cauliflower, carrot mix and broccoli. And we will add those things to, you know, some other stuff. So,
Right.
so we're not doing as much prep.
That's nice too.
Yes, it's been really nice.
More free time for summer.
Right,
What would
exactly.
you say
Frozen
if somebody-
vegetables healthier than fresh because they're picked and like
Uh,
frozen, right?
Well, I mean, they're gonna have a better nutritional value.
They
yeah.
are. The
Yeah,
frozen
because
ones? Really?
they're ripe when they're picked.
Mhm.
And
I
they're
mean-
flash frozen.
Any vegetable you can get in is a good option. But frozen definitely have some benefits because, you know, you can keep them right in the freezer, right? So they're always available. They are picked when they're ripe and then frozen.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
generally
whereas-
the last stuff that gets picked, right? And then it just goes like, you know, like I know around here, blueberries, you see the trucks go through and get all the blueberries right at the very end, and those all just go straight to a frozen
Mhm.
because they can't last long enough to go to a store at that point. They're
Okay, yeah.
they're at their peak and they're like, get us off here, we're all done.
What would you say to somebody that wanted to keep the beans and, you know, some of the stuff that were reds in their life or in their nutritional plan? How would they still count them if they're on the portion fix? I mean, the same way, how would you
It's
incorporate
not
those
gonna
back
be
in?
the
'Cause
same.
because
Yeah.
I haven't, you know, keeping the beans in and the brown rice and stuff like that, quinoa.
The way the macro split is between the plans, it's not gonna be the same. And like, so you get more vegetables on gut protocol, she accounts for the part meat, part plant, it's still a 40-30-30. Whereas on portion fix, you know, I mean, that plan is also laid out as a 40-30-30 in the way she's done it. So if you're intermixing yellow to red, it's not gonna be quite the same.
That's what I figured.
Because you're
Mhm.
still getting your other proteins in.
Yeah.
And now, you know what I mean? And like, so it just doesn't match up. I don't know. It just doesn't match up the same. But I mean, that's
I
what's
think
hard to do.
that's,
Like there's days I want to do 3 plant proteins and 2 animal proteins. And that's going to change the macro split because I'm automatically going to have more carbs with a plant protein and less protein. So, yes, Sue?
oh, I was just gonna say, I think that's why I like the hybrid gut protocol, because of the way I would normally eat and how I was getting so bored with food before. And now it really aligns with how I like to eat, you know, having the little bit of beans, but maybe throwing in a day of chicken or a day of fish. So that really helps me.
I agree. It feels like a more normal way for me, like a natural way for me to eat in what I want in my meals. So I think that's why I've felt like this is the plan I didn't know I needed. Because it's like
Yeah.
all of a sudden it just kind of clicked. I'm like, oh, this sounds good. And this is what I wanted to eat during this time. And you know, it's not complicated to get it in.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't eat beef and I don't eat pork. So it's like
Boom.
we
Yeah.
ate chicken like all the time. Chicken, chicken, chicken,
Chicken.
ground
Mhm.
turkey, chicken,
Chicken.
chicken, 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 eggs, chicken, chicken. What are we gonna have? We're gonna have chicken thighs. We're gonna have chicken breasts. We're gonna have chicken wings.
Or-
We're gonna have some more chicken again. So yeah, I really like being able to have beans and lentils in my life. It just makes it, I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling better too.
Yeah.
Just overall, I feel like it's feeding me better.
Yep. I agree.
I did drop back down into A.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did, because I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
I want to see, like after doing B for 4 weeks, I was puffier, but I had lost inches and pounds. But I was curious as to like if I went into A for 2 weeks, like what that would do, like when I was doing the reintroduction, what it would do. I'm not really hungry. I'm not hungry or anything. So
Yeah.
I have added in more sugar because I've done the recover. And today, since we can have 15 grams,
Yep.
I did a half a scoop of recover since it was the mobility type work. And I was just feeling that I really wanted recover. But then I had another half serving of Energize because I hadn't made my 15 grams yet.
Right.
So I got to have my Energize twice today.
Woo, that's exciting.
I was very excited. Oh, yes, made me happy because I haven't had it like that in a while. Well, 5 weeks.
Do you think, Deanna, continuing the gut protocol after doing it the first round, should I recalculate and see if I should change bracket eating or just
You
continue with
certainly
what I'm
can,
doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should do it every, especially if you've changed weight, you can do it every 30 days and see where you're at. Now, were you doing a weight loss or maintenance?
Maintenance.
Yeah. So you can see where it puts you. And it also depends then on the workouts you're doing, because a lot of us are coming off gut protocol on a less than 30-minute workout, right? So you didn't necessarily account for those workouts going into a plan that has a longer workout or more intense workout. So like I'm staying on C and seeing where, like with lift 4, how that feels.
Yeah.
But I think you have to kind of go off, how things are going with it. Like if you stay in maintenance plus these workouts, is it enough?
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, because some days I'm a little bit more hungry than in different days. So
yeah,
I try to eat every other day with, my containers and mix them around and not eat the same thing day after day so I don't get bored. But
yeah,
definitely finding that I'm a little bit more hungry this week. Maybe that's why all these cravings are popping
right.
up.
Maybe I find that happens a lot with me. Like when I'm roaming around the kitchen, looking at stuff that's on the counter that the kids are eating. And I'm like, okay, it's time for you to eat, because you clearly need something right now. Yeah. I just see how you feel. And which workouts are you doing?
I'm just finishing up job 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're still in that 20-minute range. So it depends on how often you're running.
Yeah. I mean, some days I'll double up the job 1 workout just to get 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then occasionally running. I'm not running as often as I was before, but I like to get it in when I can.
Yeah. And sometimes some people experience like more hunger from an intense cardio like that. And some people, the hunger hormone is suppressed. So it just, you might find like if you run those days, you're more, famished, or, you want food more. So you'll just have to see how it relates.
Okay.
And it could just pass, right? Like it could just be that day.
Yeah.
Or it could be like a more long-term, like the intensity to workouts means maybe it's time to bump up again, or.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, guys, my gosh, we're after 6 o'clock already. Fast. So tomorrow is High Five Friday. So give everybody your high five on the selfie picture. And then the next meal prep class is going to be July 10th, so that it's not that weekend of July 4th, because that's going to be a little bit busy, I would imagine. Maybe we'll have sunshine here. I don't know. Maybe we'll just be sitting in the rain, lighting off fireworks.
It'll be weird.
But supposedly July 5th is when the Pacific Northwest then officially opens up for summer. So
Yeah.
That's
I'm counting on it. Count the days down.
right. And then I think that's kind of all we have coming up. I mean, there's, a lot of people are starting Fire and Flow on Monday, and Gut Protocol officially kicks off Monday again for round 3. And then we likely won't do another group until September-ish. We'll see, who wants to jump in at that point. I'm kind of excited to find out what we'll be doing in the fall, because we've got Joel coming up with Lift More, and then we'll see.
Yes. Yes, and strawberry lemonade coming out on the
Oh,
27th.
yeah. Strawberry
with-
lemonade and Energize coming out on the 27th. So
Yeah.
it was funny. I
And-
was just looking at my packets. I need to switch it for that order when it's available.
And the Lift More samples coming out that day as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So we'll all be able to try it.
That's the end of this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, June 27th. Okay, ladies. Well, if we have any hot topic, yes, Kathy?
I just said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, if we have any hot
Thank-
topics you want to discuss or something's happening in your life you want to talk about in the nutrition call, we can add it in. I'll try not to be in a funk for the rest, from here on out, and then we can talk about different things.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Smile.
There you go, Lily.
I don't know if I can come on. It's really dark in here.
That's all right. Oh,
Yeah, it's really dark.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
thanks, Lily. You're the official
All right.
photographer.
Good week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. See you
Bye.
later.